All right, let's get right into it. We're tackling the big one today. A question every producer asks. How in the world do you get your music signed?
I mean, does this sound familiar? You've poured your heart and soul into a track, hours and hours in the studio. You send it off to a bunch of labels, feeling hopeful. And then crickets. Just nothing. It's so frustrating, right? And you're not alone. So many talented artists are asking themselves this exact same question every single day.
But here's a thought. What if the problem isn't actually about your music? I know, that sounds crazy, but the hard truth is, amazing tracks get passed on constantly. The real difference maker, the thing that gets you from ignored to signed, usually boils down to just one thing: strategy. And that is exactly what we're going to unpack today. Okay, so to even start building that killer strategy, we've got to do a little reverse engineering. We need to get inside the heads of the A&R folks, the label managers, the decision makers. We have to understand how they think and why a great song is really just the first step of the journey for them. All right, first things first, we have to be super clear on what a record label actually is. Look, it's not some arts grant or a charity for amazing musicians. It's a business, plain and simple. And just like any other business, it's worried about growing its brand, keeping its customers, that's the listeners, happy, and, making money. Once you really let that sink in, a lot of other things start to click into place. And this right here, this is probably the biggest misunderstanding in the whole game. The myth is that labels are out there like talent scouts, just searching for that one perfect track. But the reality, it's way bigger than that. They're not signing tracks, they're signing market-ready artists. They're looking for the whole package, something that makes their job of selling it to the world as easy as possible. So what is this whole package they're looking for? Well, think of it like this. First up, consistency. Can you do it again and again? They need to know you're not a one-hit wonder. Then there's identity. Do you have a sound that's recognizably you? Next, professionalism. Are your tracks already sounding polished, mixed, and mastered? That saves them a ton of work. And finally, and this is a big one, engagement. Is there already a group of people, a fan base that loves what you do? All right, so we know what they want. Now let's flip it around and look at why they say no. Let's talk about the classic mistakes, the demo killers that send even incredible music straight into the digital trash bin. We're gonna go through the top 7. Yep, 7. 7 things that could be sabotaging your chances before they even press play. Okay, as we run through these, I want you to be really honest with yourself. See if any of these sound familiar. Because here's the thing, they are all so avoidable. Number 1, a weak mix and master. That's an instant delete. 2, no defined brand. They're just left scratching their heads like, who is this person? 3, sending to the wrong labels. It just screams that you didn't do your research. 4, ignoring their submission rules. That's a huge red flag. 5, having just one good track makes you look like a fluke. 6, a weak online presence means they have to do all the work of finding you an audience. And 7, just cold emailing everyone. You're just another drop in an ocean of spam. So, looking at that list, it might feel a little overwhelming. I get it. But here's the good news, the really empowering part. Every single one of those mistakes is fixable. They're completely in your control. This isn't about talent, it's about strategy. And for every problem, there's a solution. So let's get to it. Let's talk about the fix. This is your game plan. We're going to take every single one of those mistakes and flip it on its head, turning it into a powerful strategy that gets you noticed for all the right reasons. The key here is being proactive. So instead of a weak mix, you invest in label-ready quality. Instead of a messy, all-over-the-place style, you lock in a sound that's uniquely yours. You stop shotgun blasting demos and you start targeting the right labels. You treat their submission rules like gold. You don't just sit around waiting, you start releasing music yourself to build some heat. And maybe the most important part, you start building real relationships with people. And seriously, that last point about relationships, we cannot stress that enough. This quote says it all. At the end of the day, music is a people business. An A&R person is always going to be more likely to check out a track from someone they actually know, or at least have some connection with. Your network is everything. But hey, don't just take my word for it. Let's look at some real-world proof. Let's see how these exact strategies help some massive artists get their big break. This is where we see the theory actually work. Just look at these examples. Martin Garrix, he didn't just stumble into a deal. He created this huge viral buzz online first, basically proving he was a sure bet before a label even touched him. Or take Peggy Gou. She put in the work, consistently releasing music on indie labels, building her brand and a cult following piece by piece. And Odessa? Man, they did it all themselves first. They self-released, built a massive fan base, and basically got to a point where the labels had to come knocking on their door.
You start to see the pattern, right? It's not magic. It really boils down to a simple formula. It's quality plus consistency plus visibility. You need all three. Amazing music, a steady stream of it, and a smart way to get it in front of people. That's the winning recipe.
And that brings me to the last piece of the puzzle. And honestly, it might be the most important one. All of this stuff, it takes time. You have to be in it for the long haul. Because in this industry, patience is pretty much the dividing line between a hobby and a real career. You've heard it a million times, but it's a cliche for a reason. This whole overnight success thing, it's basically a myth. Every single artist you look up to, they didn't just pop up out of thin air. Their success is built on a mountain of hard work, failures, and late nights that nobody ever saw. Here's what the real path looks like. It's spending years messing around in your studio trying to find your sound. It's putting music out there for 10 people to hear, and then maybe 20, and then 100. And the most critical part, it's learning to see every rejection not as I'm not good enough, but as, okay, what can I learn from this? It's feedback, not failure. So let's wrap this all up. The whole point of this was to hopefully shift your mindset a little bit. It's time to stop asking, why isn't my music getting signed? And start asking, what actions can I take today to get my music signed? You have the blueprint now. The power is in your hands. And that leads me to my final question for you. Because knowing all this is one thing, but doing something with it is everything. So after hearing all this, what is the one thing, the very first action you're going to take to get yourself label ready? Think about it, and then go do it. Thanks for tuning in.